right on 6:30, you're with the Human Zoo on Shock FM. And Jimmy, I've got to ask you about the big story today. Anna Kournikova married again for the third time. Can you believe it?
Mate, I am absolutely...
Shock FM traffic report brought to you by Munro Shock Absorbers.
Traffic flowing relatively smoothly on all roads into the city, but there's been a truck carrying a load full of honey roll over on Devil's Elbow. Police are advising motorists to stick to the inside lane.
Oh, Davey, that's a shocker, mate. Jeez, we do the jokes around here.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. How are you?
Look, I've brought the car in. It's outside, so it's yours for the day.
Just the service today, is it?
Well, actually, look, the brakes are near new and its tyres are still pretty good, but it just doesn't feel right around corners. And it's not pulling up at the lights too well.
Could be wheel alignment.
Right, okay. Look, let's just stick with the service today.
Service, okay.
Okay.
You finish by 3.
Right.
Mitch! Come on, mate. New brakes, new tyres, and it still doesn't handle right. Sounds like the shock absorbers. Now, I know you haven't forgotten, but let's do a bit of a refresher. Shock absorbers are spring dampeners, and as you can see in this cutaway, it's basically a piston. They stop the tyre from bouncing and keep the tyre on the road at all times. Think about it. If a tyre loses contact with the road, as shown in this computer demonstration, brakes are useless, and the more time a tyre spends bouncing, the less control a driver has in any situation, particularly in an emergency. And that goes for whether the car has ABS or not. So let's see what our computer demonstration looks like with our shock absorbers working properly. Sure, it's a big factor in how the car rides, but don't underestimate how important they are in making sure the motorist is able to deal with any situation that might confront them. So make no mistake, you can have the best tyres and brakes on your car, but if your shock absorbers aren't operating effectively, you're wasting your money and potentially endangering yourself and your passengers. A quick recap. Shock absorbers are actually spring dampeners. They stop the wheel from bouncing, thereby maintaining contact with the road at all times. They work with brakes and tyres to make driving safe. So when you think safety, think tyres, brakes and shock absorbers. It's the safety triangle affecting steering, stopping and stability. Okay mate, sweet dreams.
Right on 6:30, you're with the Human Zoo on Shock FM. And Jimmy, I've got to ask you about the big story today. Anna Kournikova married again for the third time. Can you believe it?
Mate, I am absolutely shattered. I thought I was a shooter. Traffic flowing relatively smoothly on all roads into the city, but there's been a truck carrying a load full of honey roll over on Devil's Elbow. Police are advising motorists to stick to the inside lane.
Oh, Davey, that's a shocker, mate.
Hi, how are you?
Weren't you in here yesterday?
No. Look, I've just brought my car in. It's outside, so it's yours for the day.
Okay, just the service today, is it?
Well, actually, look, the brakes are near new and the tyres are still good, but it just doesn't feel right around corners and it isn't pulling up at the lights too well.
You know, it could be your shock absorbers. They stop the wheels from bouncing, keeping the tyre in contact with the road at all times. So whether you're cornering, braking, it's important they're in good condition.
Right, really? I thought shock absorbers basically lasted forever.
You're not wrong, man.
Right, let's just stick to the service for today.
Okay. You finish by 3.
Mitch! Come on, work with me here. Shock absorbers are just like brakes and tyres. They don't last forever and they need to be checked at regular intervals and replaced when they're worn out. The simplest way to check shock absorbers is the bounce test. Using your body weight, give 3 good bounces over each corner of the car suspension, and if it bounces back more than 1.5 times, you know they're past their best. Other ways to check. Look for telltale oil spots that will show the shock absorbers are leaking and need replacing. Also check the wear of the tyres, because bald patches can mean more than just bad wheel alignment. Look for wear and tear on suspension bump stops and bushes. Check the odometer. Shock absorbers should be checked every 20,000 kilometres. That's around the time of each major service. Because shock absorbers wear gradually, they need to be checked regularly. And of course, if you're able to do it, the drive test. And while driving, listen for any noises or other obvious signs of wear. And not all shock absorbers are the same either. Monroe shock absorbers have been made here in Australia to exacting safety standards for more than 50 years. A lot of investment in research and development, manufacturing and people has earned Monroe the reputation of the world's best shock absorbers. And check out the range. There's GT Gas with reflex technology, Monroe's most popular shock absorbers, specially designed to deliver improved handling while minimising impact harshness. The Gas Riser is for special heavy-duty applications such as boat towing, caravans or other heavy loads. The Gas Magnum, when vehicle control is at a premium. This shock absorber has been designed and engineered to fit four-wheel drives and commercial vehicles of all makes and models. And then there's SensorTrack, with special multi-valve groove tube technology, allowing comfort when you want it and control when you need it. It's a great product for improved ride comfort, as well as delivering increased damping control. Be sure to ask your customer. Question them about what they use their vehicle for, and you'll soon find the shock absorber that's right for them. So let's recap. Shock absorbers do not last forever. Like brakes and tyres, they need to be checked regularly. Monroe shock absorbers are made in Australia for Australian conditions, and there is a Monroe shock absorber to suit your customer's car. Okay, Mitch, off you go. Remember, tomorrow's another day. Or is it?
Funsters, right on 6:30, you're with the Human Zoo on Shock FM. And Jimmy, I've got to ask you about the big story today. Anna Kournikova married again for the 3rd time. Can you believe it, mate?
I am absolutely shattered.
You are.
Traffic flowing relatively smoothly on all roads into the city, but there's been a truck carrying a load full of honey.
Hi, how are you? Are you all right?
Hi. It's the service, right?
Well, actually, look, the
No, I
brakes-
reckon it's your shock absorbers. They stop the wheel from bouncing around, keeping the tyre in contact with the road, for braking, cornering, all sorts of things. So I think you need to get them changed.
Right, well, I thought that shock
They
absorbers...
wouldn't last forever. They're just like your tyres and brakes. You really need to service them correctly. And they're not all the same, you know. Monroe make them for 50 years, and I think they probably suit your car perfectly.
Okay, are they expensive?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Right, okay. Listen, let's just stick with the service for today, and I'll tell my husband what you said. Okay?
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, ready a bit later.
Mitch, come on. Kind of expensive? How do you figure that? Firstly, shock absorbers aren't that expensive at all, especially when you consider the important role they play in your car's ability to stop and what you could be up for if bad shock absorbers are the cause of an accident. Secondly, you could be wasting a lot of money on tyres because worn shock absorbers make short work of even the best and most expensive tyre. And finally, just think about this. Can you really put a price on your own safety and the safety of your passengers? So there you go, Mitch. You're all set. Go get 'em, Tiger.
Good morning, funsters. Right on 6:30, you're with the Human Zoo on Shock FM. And Jimmy, I've got to ask you about the big story today. Anna Kournikova married again for the third time. Can you believe it?
Mate, I am absolutely... But there's been a truck carrying a load full of honey roll over on Devil's Elbow. Police are advising motorists to stick to the inside lane.
Oh, Davey, that's a shocker, mate.
Hi, how are you? Good, look, I've brought my car in. It's just outside, so it's yours for the day.
Just the service today, is it?
Well, actually, look, the brakes are near new and the tyres are pretty good, but it just doesn't feel right around corners and it isn't pulling up at the lights too well.
Okay. Well, it could be your shock absorbers. They stop the wheel from bouncing, keeping your tyre in contact with the road all the time. So for braking, cornering, just everyday driving, it's important they're in good condition.
Right, really? I thought that shock absorbers basically lasted forever.
Oh, no, not at all. They're like tyres and brakes. They do wear out. They need servicing and replacing if required. And they're not all the same either. There's lots of different shock absorbers to suit all sorts of cars. Monroe, for example, have been making for 50 odd years, and I'm sure they've got a set to suit your car.
Right. Are they expensive?
Well, no, not when you weigh up what it could cost you if you have an accident because of poor shock absorbers. And can you really put a price on the safety of you and your loved ones?
Okay. You got me. Where do we go from here?
Okay, well, what sort of driving do you do?
Well, we do mostly city driving, and we do go out to the country, but probably only...
Oh, God, I can't believe he's nailed it. Kind of expensive. Where did that come from? Oh, no.
Very proud.
Oh, guys, I tell you, don't ever put me through that again. Oh, God. Oh, give me that. Is there anything in it? Oh, God. They last forever. Oh, and he's one of my best students too. I cannot believe it.
You're right.
I should have gone in for that root canal job today, you know that. Oh. Oh, cannot believe it. We just can't get good help nowadays. Don't let me go through that again, please. I thought he was never going to get it. Oh my God, it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Oh, I can't believe he's got it.